Hello everyone, it's Catherine here from Inky Finger Cat. Today's prompt for 30-day Christmas card making challenge that Martin's Mayhem is hosting is Bauble Bliss, and I decided to crack out the wreath builder template thing that I used a lot of in my Christmas in July series, but I haven't used it since, so I thought, well, let's go for that. Forgot what size the card needed to be, but it's about 5 inches by 5 inches. And I used the Alpaca Pals stamp set that I bought recently, because it had got a little bauble. Well, it's got a little circle. It has got the separate bauble stamp too, to kind of the little hanger thing that you'd put it on to make it into a bauble. But I didn't end up using that because I decided to make it into a bauble wreath instead. So first of all, I chose like a red colour, and then I used a purpley colour, and I did mask them off, but to be honest, they don't really need masking. They only just slightly overlapped. If I'd have put them slightly closer to the centre, they would have overlapped more, but it was fine. Then I decided to grab the holly leaves that are in the same set. I used these a couple of days ago when I did the colour prompt challenge, and decided to use those just on the outside. So you can see here what I'm doing is I'm masking off the circles that are going to get stamped on, and then I turn the cardstock round once in the template, and that allows me to stamp the leaves as if they are behind the baubles. And then I choose the other holly leaf one, and I decide to just do that 4 times, so it's just into the corners rather than it going off the cardstock. I decided that it would just fill the paper rather than, go off and be slightly bigger than. So now I'm just literally using water and my paintbrush to just activate that ink and move it around. I was using a hot pressed very smooth watercolour cardstock for this. Then I have heat set once I've done my baubles, and then I do the exact same with the leaves, so it's just pulling a bit of the colour from the line art into the leaf itself. So I did, as I say, I dried in between those bright colours for the baubles and the leaves, just because I wanted it to be less likely to leak out into the green if the pink or the purple kind of leaked. I didn't want it to leak out into the green as much. And then again, what was I doing at this point? Oh yeah, and then I dried it again. Now, at this point, I'm grabbing some of those smaller stamps from the stamp set, and I'm going to start adding in some little additions. I love the Tracy Hay Alpaca Pals stamps. I just think they're so cute. There's always some like little tiny elements that you can just add dotted around. So in this case, I'm adding the little heart, and I am silver embossing that. But I'm also going to grab the little stars, which is like a cluster of 3, and I'm going to stamp those around as well and emboss those in silver as well. I just think that they add such cute little touches to the various artwork that she's designed in the stamps. So there's my silver elements, and then you can see here I'm literally just using a wet paintbrush to pick up some of the ink that's on those stamps before I clean them, and I've just done a splatter. Yeah, I forget that when you're splattering onto the hot press watercolour paper, it does not dry quickly, so those dots stay there for ages and they are not drying. So I do end up deciding that I'm going to have to, use my cloth to just sort of dry them. And then that smears them slightly. So I'm slightly frustrated that I did that, but never mind. At this point, I'm deciding what sentiment I want. And so I've chosen this sentiment. It isn't the one that stays. Here you go. That's the point where I'm frustrated because I've smeared some of those splatters and I should have just left it be. But yeah, I've chosen a sentiment, but I will change it because that is not the sentiment I end up using. Instead, I decided to grab a scrap of the purple to just pull more purple into the card. And I die cut a panel, which I die cut a couple of times just to stack it up. And And then I decide that that black sentiment isn't the right one, so I'm umming and ahhing between the two other sentiments. So I go for one that's white with the silver embossing on the top to just pull that silver back in again. So I've stacked up my labels, and then I'm deciding that I want some kind of ribbon accessory. I'm just working out, do I want it? Yes, I do, but that was definitely not the right colour. So I have to have a little hunt through the box, and I find, at first I thought I was going to go for pink, but I ended up sticking with the purple. So I've got, it's almost like a Cadbury's purple, that ribbon. It's like a chiffon. So I decided the quickest and easiest way to do this was just to fold the ribbon over and then have the tape on the back of the label, and then it'll stick in place. And then I've just used a bit of glue to dot across the back of it, which means it'll stick into place on the card front. My glue jammed then, so I've got a little pokey tool out to try and free that up, and then I've stuck my sentiment down. And that's pretty much the simple thing that I did. I've then got this scrap of the sort of tealy green colour that works quite well with the colour I'd used for the leaves. So I'm going to mount it on that. So I'm going to do quite a large amount of the double-sided tape to hold it in place and keep it flat, because although it hadn't warped much, it had warped a little bit with the water that I'd added. So it just helps to keep it flat if you've put a good level layer of the adhesive on. And then this is the bit where I'm a bit frustrated because the card blank is very white, and I'm wondering whether I should have just made my own card blank and gone for purple, but I suppose the sentiment's got white cardstock, so it'll work. And then I couldn't let it just be finished. I decided I really wanted to add a bit more pink in, so I've added some dots of pink glitter glue just around the wreath kind of elements, and that's now my card done. So the pictures aren't great because they are in the sort of the semi-dark. So I've put a flash on for a couple of them, but yeah, not the best pictures, I'm afraid. If you pop over to my blog, you'll see better pictures that I took the following day in the light. So that's it for my card today. I hope you enjoyed. Please do like, thumbs up, etc. and subscribe to see more, and hit that notification bell to let you know when my next video is up. Till next time, bye-bye.